Given the situation he was in, he carried out as good a landing as he possibly could, and when he got to the end of the landing run, the aircraft was substantially undamaged and there was no fire. And then the aircraft hit something really hard and it burst into flames, and that's what killed the people on board.
2024년 12월 29일 무안공항에서 발생한 제주항공여객기 참사로 전체 탑승자 181명 중 179명이 사망했습니다. 이 참사의 원인은 아직 명확하게 규정된 바 없으나 외신에서 보도한 항공분야 전문가들의 인터뷰를 보면 공통적으로 공항설계에 대해 의문을 제기하고 있습니다. 이 참담한 사건의 진실이 왜곡되거나 정치적 논쟁의 도구가 되지 않길 바라며 오늘 영상 시작합니다.
The aircraft is doing about 200 miles an hour when it touches down, a bit more than that. Very little damage being done to the aeroplane as it skids down the runway, goes off the end of the runway, and then it comes to this object here. That kind of structure should not be there. The ILS antennae, it's where they normally are. But they shouldn't be embedded in something as hard as that. That is awful. That is unbelievably awful.
항공 전문가 데이빗 러머스는 비행기가 처음 활주로에 착륙했을 때 온전한 상태였던 점을 강조하며 무안공항 활주로 끝에 있던 구조물이 참사의 원인이라고 매우 분명하게 말하고 있습니다.
And you can see it's level ground beyond that. There was plenty of space for the aircraft to have slowed down, come to a halt, and I think everybody would have been alive. But to have a hard object about 200 meters or less into the overrun, I've never seen anything like this anywhere ever before.
Is there any justification for having a concrete wall like that in this area of a major airport?
Not only is there no justification, I think it's verging on criminal to have it there.
두 번째 인터뷰는 사우스웨스트 1380 항공기 사고 당시 조종사였던 숄츠와 진행됩니다. 그녀는 라과디아 공항에서 댈러스로 향하는 사우스웨스턴 비행편을 몰았는데요. 운행 도중 엔진이 폭발하여 비상 착륙했던 사건이죠. 큰 사고로 이어질 법했지만 사망 1명, 부상자 7명으로 마무리되었던 건인데요. 그런 그녀의 경험을 담은 인터뷰 같이 한번 보시죠.
What do you think overall happened here? Because it seems that a bird strike ultimately should be survivable.
Bird strikes are not singularly. They are not an accident in waiting. We see the bird strike. What we can presume is a bird strike with a puff of smoke coming out of the engine. And these engines, these CFM 56 engines, are tested with frozen birds thrown into them. And so we don't see smoke coming out of the engine afterwards. We can assume that the engine, it chewed it up and spit it out. Now, if they did have to shut down that engine, 737s are built so redundant. It can fly on one engine. So the electrical system, the hydraulic system, all of them have backups, if not duplicate, triplicate. So that would not in itself cause a problem, even if the bird strike took out a hydraulic system. If it took out an electrical system, they're redundant. Some of the negative things that happened here were the short approach that had them flaps up, going much faster than normal, and landing about halfway down the runway. So they gave up quite a bit of their landing space. That coupled with the barricade that was built at the end of the runway for the localizer lights, that design is not something I've seen in the U.S. or near international flying. So that was kind of the perfect storm in this situation.
Yeah, it's really upsetting. That could be the thing that ultimately made the difference, even if there were a series of other issues. Captain Schultz.
누군가에게는 오랜 기간 기다려온 행복했던 여행, 누군가에게는 그리운 가족을 만나러 가던 길이었을 것입니다. 사람들은 못다한 얘기를 품고 비행기에 타고 있었지만 집에서 기다리던 이들은 결국 그 이야기를 전해듣지 못했습니다. 수많은 시민들이 희생된 이 사건은 정치적이거나 혹은 여타 이유로 왜곡되지 않아야 하며 희생자들을 추모함과 동시에 책임자들에 대한 처벌과 유사 사고 방지가 함께 이루어지길 바랍니다.